everybody please give a nice warm Sundance Saloon welcome to Mr. Andy Johnson.
I gotta tell you guys something. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. Now I'm sure this happens to like singers, right? But I actually got a request for the first time ever. I've been doing comedy. Let me tell you how I got into comedy. Okay, I gotta tell you this first. After a particularly bad night of sex with my ex-wife, she looked at me and she said, "What are you, some kind of comedian?" I just went with it. Okay, so that was a long time ago. But I actually got a request for the first time ever tonight. And he said, "Will you," oops, I guess I just leave that hang right there. He said, "Will you do your joke about dating?" So I'm gonna do that joke. It's not even on the set list tonight, but you're gonna thank him. You're gonna thank him because I'm gonna do it. Now this is what happened. I dated a woman who had 12 children. Okay, 12 of her own children. I took her out to Waffle House. 12 is a lot of kids, right? I took her out to Waffle House and she ordered breakfast. And when the waitress said, "How do you like your eggs?" I said, "Fertilized." I'm positive. I'm positive. Now so I got that out of the way, okay. Thank him right there in the back. Give him a hand. That's a milestone. That's a milestone for me. I am married now. I'm married, and we just celebrated, July 31st, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. Where are my married people at? You're married. You're married. How long have you been married? 16 years, you said? So that's a lot of anniversaries. See, we don't just celebrate the 1-year anniversary. We celebrate all the anniversaries in between. Like we just got done celebrating the 6th time of the 3rd time we went to Walmart to buy cat food. Right? We just celebrate anniversaries, and every anniversary I have to buy jewelry. I have to buy jewelry, so I mean just constantly. So this most recent anniversary we had, I think it was the 6th time of the 4th time we got the oil changed on the car, and she told me, she said, "Take me someplace I've never been." Anal was not what she was looking for. Now my wife normally doesn't come to the shows because she works overtime because I'm a comedian. So that's how we actually met at her job. She works at CSL Plasma. Anybody else ever donate plasma? Right, okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of, right? You're selling your blood for money. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not the place to find a mate. Because everybody who's selling their blood for money is there because they're poor. And for some reason, it ain't because of my body. It ain't because of the car I drive. She said, "I like him." So anyways, on to the rest of the show. I woke up this morning and I had to go to work because, again, I'm a comedian and I have a regular job. And I turned to my wife and I said, "I don't want to go. Does it make me a bad person because I don't want to work today?" She said, "No, that makes you lazy. Your internet search history is what makes you a bad person. Get your ass up." So it's fall. And you know, everywhere you go, they have that one coffee drink, right? Who goes to Starbucks here, right? What do you just get bombarded with? That one coffee drink, the pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice everything. So, from now until December 1st, my gift to you is my farts will smell like pumpkin spice. That's for the ladies. I grew up in a small town, small farming community in Minnesota. You can probably tell my accent isn't one of a Coloridian. Coloridian? Is that the right? Is it Coloridian? Coloridian? Example of the kind of town that I grew up in. We had a 400-pound hooker. Now that's an important number to remember. Because in the state of Minnesota, anything over 275 pounds is possession with intent to distribute. So if you get caught with her, it's a felony. Right? They put her out on the hood of the truck, make you feel guilty. This isn't just for personal use, sir. When I took my wife back for the first time I wanted to show around town, so I went to Siri and I said, Siri, I said, find me a nice seafood restaurant in my town. And this is what Siri said. She said, I can find no nice seafood restaurants, but there are 74 bars in your town where you can get crabs. I'm the son of a farmer. My parents don't say much, but when they do say something at the age of 80, it's completely unfiltered. They just say whatever they want to say. I was standing in my parents' kitchen the other day, and there was a puddle of water on the floor. And I said, Dad, I said, I think your dishwasher's leaking. He said, yeah, she had big babies. And my mother, ever the supportive housewife, just said, yeah, you were all over 9 pounds. I don't jump on the trampoline. I'm 51 years old. Now, I was born in 1971. If you've been following the news, there was something that happened in 1972. Now, this isn't a political joke, but something happened in 1972. So 1 year after I was born, the Roe versus Wade verdict in the Supreme Court. And which explains why, when I was young, my mom used to beat me over the head with a metal coat hanger and yell, 1 year, just 1 damn year. My father used to look at me and he'd say, you know, son, I love you, but you're an idiot. Then he'd let me cry for a few minutes and he'd say, I'm just joking, I don't love you. Okay, show of hands, who had that one uncle in their family that always wanted to wrestle with the kids a little bit too much, right? Right? That one weird uncle? I had the uncle that used to make the quarter disappear. Like he'd make it disappear from behind your ear and then would reappear under your thigh when you were in the tub. You know what I'm talking about, right? Right? Yeah? Right? Yeah? You know exactly what I'm talking about, Doug. You're that uncle. And I'd say to him, I'd say, why are you in the bathroom watching me in the tub? He said, it's okay, your mom just wants me to make sure you don't slip and fall and bump your head. I said, I'm 30. Right? But I need a pack of smokes. If you could do that thing with the quarter a couple more times, that sure would help me out. I'm the father of 3 kids. Now, I'm a divorced father of 3 kids. And I like to do things with my kids as a father does. I took my kids camping a couple of years ago, one time. Who else in here camps? Right? Okay, why? Well, what is it that makes people who live in a home want to sleep in the dirt? You work so hard all the time to give yourself a nice home. I know what we'll do on the weekend. We'll go sleep in the dirt and shit in the woods. So I took my kids camping. Now my oldest daughter's a safety captain of the family, and she came to me and she said, Dad, she said, camping in the mountains is not a KOA campground type experience. There are things out there that can and will eat you. So I gotta ask you a couple questions. Is that better? Okay. I gotta ask you a couple questions, Dad, make sure that you are prepared. A bear wanders into camp. What do you do, Dad? I said, that's easy. We bang some pots and pans together, make a bunch of noise, and the bear will probably wander off. She said, that's a great answer, Dad. Next question, Dad. A cougar wanders into camp. What do you do? I said, if she's hot, I'll catch up. So I find out with camping, is that better? Okay, oh, there we are. I will just hold it right here. With camping, everybody has to have a job that is camping with you. Everybody has to bring something. It's like a big potluck in the dirt, right? So my oldest daughter insisted that she would bring all of the utensils. Frying pans, spatulas, she would bring everything. I'd bring all the meat. My son would bring a gun. Now he told me it was a 9mm, so we stopped bought some bullets. It turned out to be a .25 caliber. This is a little bit bad here. Anyways, so my daughter insisted. If I hold it like that, can you hear me? Should I just yell?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, that's okay. Darn it, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Okay. Let's just start at the beginning. So I've never had a request before. I'm afraid you forgot everything I said up until now. So my daughter insisted that she would bring all of the cooking utensils, frying pans, pots, spatulas, everything. So for the next 3 days, I cooked hamburgers on a fucking shovel. And I hope a bear doesn't wander in the can because I got nothing to band together. And the little 25 caliber gun my son brought, that's not going to do anything. So I'm cooking hamburgers on a shovel for 3 days. And then every so often somebody would be like, hey, why is there corn in my burger? I'm just embarrassed that I even said that. I'm sorry. That would have been a good time for the microphone to cut out, don't you think, right? From the time my 3 kids were little, I used to say the same thing to them. Kids who don't get good grades go to prison. Anybody here been to prison? Anybody? You look like you've been to prison. Is that just is it a costume?
No, I wear the
That's what you wear all the time? I say kids who don't get good grades go to prison. From the time they were little until the time they were adults, I said the same thing to them. Well, I was talking to my youngest daughter today, and she's taking some college classes, and I said, well, how are your grades? How are things going for you? And she said, Dad, they're going really, really well. I might even make the dean's list. I said, you remember where kids who don't get good grades go? She said, the Sundance? Not nice, not nice. Anybody else ever celebrated their child's 21st birthday with them by taking them to a bar? You've done that?
Yeah.
You did that? Anybody else? Is that not the dumbest thing we could do as adults, as parents? What a horrible example that sets. Me and my wife and my oldest daughter brought the 21-year-old on her birthday to a bar, stepped in and announced to everybody, hey, she's 21. I had a $225 bar tab and I couldn't figure out why. Because I was drinking half the drinks that were being by the dirty old men for my hey, you want a drink? It was because she was buying drinks for other people because she didn't know the rules. So when they would buy her a drink, she would say, well, hey, let me buy you a drink. So I had a $225 bar tab. We got kicked out. My daughter fell down on the sidewalk and she scud her cheek up. Now this made me panic because I'm a divorced dad. I don't care how old your children are, you cannot send them back to their mom broken or bent. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose custody of my 21-year-old. Then she lined us up on the wall. My oldest, my wife, and me. She said to the oldest, I hate you. She said to my wife, whose name she changed from Laura to Nora, and I hate you, Nora. And then she looked at me and she said, and I especially hate you, Ethel. Ethel. I hadn't heard that since she was 4. We found out she had a speech impediment and she'd been calling me asshole. So with all that, just over a year ago I got married. I met the love of my life. She's in here today. Give her a hand because... Now I gotta tell you, if you're wondering what her costume is tonight, it is woman who's heard all the jokes. So we got married. And we traveled all the way to Tennessee because that's where her family is from. My family followed a little bit later. They flew down. And that's where we got married. In Chattanooga, Tennessee. At a nice resort. And one thing I gotta tell you quick, my mom without the filter, she asked when we all got to this resort, she said, well, what are the sleeping arrangements for the night before the wedding? Because she's very traditional. She also asked about the color of the bride's dress. Because that's what 80-year-old women do. And she said, what are the sleeping arrangements for the night before the wedding? I said, we're traditional, so she's going to spend the night in her family's chalet, And that's pretty fancy chalet, huh? Cabin. And I will spend the night with you guys in your cabin. And my mom said, well, you can't undo 2 years of sinning in one night. So we're traveling down there and we're in love. I mean, I am telling you, me and my wife we're soulmates. We're in love. I'm driving with one hand the entire 24-hour drive because the other hand is clasped firmly in hers. And we're singing songs. Kenny and Dolly, Islands in the Street, that is what we want. At one point she's Lady Gaga, I'm Bradley Cooper, sha-la-la-la-lo! We are in love. Can't believe how in love we are. And we got married. We turned around. 2 hours into the drive back, she turned to me and she said, aren't you driving a little fast? Right, Earl? You've had that before, right? Aren't you driving a little fast? But luckily at that point, all I heard was blah, blah, blah. And we stopped at a gas station. I was pumping gas, she was going in, and I hollered, hey! I said, when you come back with something cold. She gets back into the car, she said, your best days are behind you. I said, yeah, that was cold. We keep driving, she turns down the radio. She goes, you know what? I said, what? What? Fucking what? What? She said, you know what? You don't remember that song, Johnny and June? That song about Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash? It's a love song. I said, yeah, I know what the song is. She goes, that's how I want our marriage to be, like Johnny and June, just like the song. I said, well, you keep fucking with the radio. I'll give you Ike and Tina. I'll give you Ike and Tina. So just as predicted when she told me I was driving a little bit too fast, that night on a Missouri highway, I'm pulled over at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, as my bad luck would have it, it's a female cop. And the entire time, my wife is not paying attention at all. She's just playing in the frost of the window. Just playing in the frost of the window. As we pull away, I say, sweetheart, I said, what were you doing in the window? She said, I was writing help. You were writing help? She goes, yeah. I figured you were paying so much attention to that nice female cop, maybe you wanted to spend a little time with her. I gotta tell you this, we also have a number of grandchildren. We have many grandchildren. 2 of mine, 5, 10, 15, 9 of hers, thank you, sweetheart. And so we have a lot of grandchildren. We just recently, this is a way to get cheap applause, we just recently had our last grandchild, 7 weeks ago, little girl. You can applaud for that. And we got to meet her for the first time just this week. And I want to say this because she's just the coolest little thing in the entire world. And so now on my side of the family, I have a grandson who's 3, and then Anaya is the new little granddaughter. And when I posted my grandson's picture on Facebook, it got 600 likes. I posted my Facebook profile picture, and I got banned for a week. But we're having this nice dinner party, and we're over at the in-laws' house, and they're very, very nice people, and they have a very, very nice house, and it is a very, very nice dinner party. And we're eating the salad, and we're talking about, interestingly enough, different types of salad dressings. And I mentioned that Laura makes her own ranch dressing. We do not buy ranch dressing at the store. She makes it. I would not get caught bringing ranch dressing into the house. The man to my left said, oh, I suppose that would be like bringing another woman home. I said, no, I think if I got caught with a whore in the salad, it would be a little worse. I don't know, can you help me? What fork do you use, right? Okay, back to the show. So we came back and we made a life. And when you're married, there are things that you don't know, that you don't find out until after you're married. Number one, she's a close sleeper. She sleeps in a situation where she always has to be touching me. No matter where I'm at in bed, she's always touching me. Doug? Right? You? Close sleeper? Okay, you guys apart? I fell out of bed the other night. 5 seconds later, I heard, I'm on the way. It's always there. In our household, we have developed something called company policy. It's very simple. Very simple. There's only one rule, and you know what it is, guys. She's in charge, right? You've been married how long, sir?
45 years.
45 years. Company policy, right? She makes the rules, right? You follow them. Everybody's happy. So we have company policy. So she came to me and she said, I want a cat. I said, I don't want a cat. She said, do I need to remind you what company policy says? I said, okay. She said, but I'm going to have some mercy on you. How would you like a BJ? Right? Duh. Duh. Of course, okay, I agreed to that. She goes, good, that's the name of the cat. Okay, so you think I got tricked once, but we already had a dog named Threesome. And a fish named Finger Up Your Butt. We live a sordid life, evidently. So she travels for her job. And so when she is gone, I'm in charge of the animals. And, you know, it's not the same as having her there because they absolutely love her. She's like that frickin' that girl in the woods in the Disney movie that has birds and squirrels and shit falling all over her animals. Snow White. Thank you. She's a redhead, but she's like Snow White. And so when she leaves, the animals just go crazy, right? The cat disappears. She calls me. She says, how's the cat? I said, oh, the fucking cat isn't. They've been around for a week. Okay, the cat's fine. And I know the cat's okay because as soon as she pulls in the driveway, the cat reappears. So everything's fine. Then she asked me the big question. The love of her life is the dog. She says, how's the dog? I said, it kept me up all night eating peanut butter. She said, you're gross. And that dog doesn't even like peanut butter. I said, well, she really likes dick then because I didn't get any sleep at all. Ladies and gentlemen. Has anybody ever told you while you're singing at your job, come up to your roomie and said, don't quit your day job, right? Don't quit your day job. Stop singing, don't quit your day job. Don't ever stop singing. Don't ever quit your day job. You sing as loud as you want. I'm Andy Johnson. Thank you very much for listening to me. Have a great night.